Hi, we're going to be discussing classifying triangles. For this lesson, please have your vocabulary and notation of triangles worksheet with you as we go through the video. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take a look at a couple of vocabulary words. At the top of your paper, you'll see three boxes. We're going to write some definitions in these boxes, and I'm also going to write or draw a diagram to show you where these vocabulary words come in as we discuss triangles. The first word is vertex. The plural of vertex is vertices. A vertex of a triangle is a point that joins two sides of a triangle. Sides. The side of a triangle is a segment whose endpoints are vertices. Find some room there and let's go ahead and draw a triangle. We're going to label this triangle A, B, C. I'm labeling the vertices. So I could say vertex A and you'd know where to look. This is vertex A, vertex B, and vertex C. There are three vertices on every triangle. Sides. Sides are segments, so if I ask about a side, I would be talking about side AB, and I would mark it with the segment bar above. We also can talk about side BC or side CA. So the triangle has three vertices, A, B, and C, which are points, and three sides, AB, BC, and CA, which are line segments. Next, we're going to talk about the triangle sum theorem. The theorem reads, the sum of the measures of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. Since we know a triangle has three angles, we would be adding three measures together to equal 180 degrees. I can write this as an equation. If I'm using the triangle above, I would say that the measure of triangle or of angle A plus the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle C must add up to 180 degrees. Now we're going to be classifying triangles by their angles. This means we're going to observe or look at the angles of the triangle. And then we're going to decide whether the triangle is acute, right, or obtuse. An acute triangle will have three acute angles. And since we know the word acute means that the measure is less than 90 degrees, we know that this triangle will have three angles that are less than 90 degrees. So let's draw a picture of an acute triangle. Now we'll talk about a right triangle. We can draw a right triangle. And if it's a right triangle, it must have a right angle. It has exactly one right angle. You may also notice that the other two angles in the triangle are acute. But it's enough to notice that this is a right triangle because of the one right angle. And the last classification is obtuse triangles. And an obtuse triangle will have one obtuse angle. And we know that obtuse means that our measure is greater than 90 degrees. It's also seen that the other two angles are acute angles. On your paper, you'll see some triangles, and I'm going to ask you to pause the video and try to classify those by these three names: acute, right, and obtuse. When you're done, resume the video and we'll go on to the other side. Here we're going to be classifying triangles by their sides. Just as we did with angles, we're going to observe the triangle. But this time we're going to be observing the sides of the triangle. And we're going to be looking at their lengths or their measurements. The first one we're going to start with is scalene. A scalene triangle has three different measurements. In other words, a scalene triangle has no congruent sides. Next one is an isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle has two congruent sides. These will be marked with the congruent markings on the triangle, or you will also notice that the measurements listed are the same. So we will see two congruent sides. An equilateral triangle is a special triangle because it can also be considered an equiangular. If we're asking to be identified by sides, we use equilateral because lateral will talk about the sides. If I ask you to classify by angles, then we'll name this an equiangular. But they do come as a pair. An equilateral triangle has three congruent sides, where all sides have the same measurement. In an equilateral triangle, all of the angles are also the same measurement. If we take 180 degrees and I tell you that three angles are the same, we can divide that by 3 and we will find that in an equilateral and an equiangular triangle, all angles are 60 degrees. If a triangle is equilateral, the triangle is also equiangular, and it actually works the other way. If the triangle is equiangular, it's also equilateral. You see some triangles on your paper now. Pause again and classify those triangles by the names scalene, isosceles, or equilateral. The last two vocabulary words are talking about opposites, sides, and opposite angles. I'm going to write the definitions and I'm also going to draw some pictures. A side opposite an angle is the side across from a named angle. Draw a picture. Label your triangle ABC. If I ask for the side opposite angle A, then we will find angle A and we will go across and we will identify the side. So this question, the side opposite angle A, the answer is segment BC or side BC. An angle opposite a side is an angle across from a named side. So it's really the reverse. Again, we'll draw a triangle. This time let's label it RST. And I will ask the angle opposite side SR. So we will identify side SR and we will look at the angle across. That would be the opposite angle, and that would be angle T. All right, very good job.